Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is day 21. We are approaching Christmas, and we are approaching fast as fuck. I didn't have another word to say. Fast as Rudolph.
Fast as... There isn't a reindeer with an F.
Fast as fudge.
Fast as fudge.
We are approaching Christmas. It's the 21st.
21st.
We're not even in the throes anymore.
All right.
We're like approaching the de-escalation of the roller coaster.
Let's get real. Let's get honest. Have you finished your Christmas shopping yet? Have you finished your Christmas shopping yet?
I did.
I thought I did. I thought I was so proud of myself this year. I got done so early, way early, like weeks early, long before I normally have ever done it in the last 20 years. I was so proud and happy and thinking, oh, these poor bastards out there, fighting each other for the last little scrap of present that's left.
Scraps. Fighting for scraps.
Fighting for
scraps.
And I realized just today, I got to get something else. So I'm 3 days out and I got to do it.
You'll be all right.
Sucks, man.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to do it. Oh, well.
You'll be all right.
All right, man. Day 21.
Day 21. Today we got Listermann Barrel House collaboration. This beer is from 2020. It is April 2020. It is a collaboration between Barrel House, the titular Barrel House, I guess you could say that they collaborated not just on this beer, but on the Advent calendar itself.
Absolutely.
They were the main collaborator.
They are.
This is barrel-aged cookies and cream. Man, it is dark on this label. Cat snakes rule everything around me. That's what I thought that was going to be part of the.
It's on the other side.
Type. That's
pastry stout aged in bourbon barrels with cookies, vanilla, cocoa powder, cacao nibs, sea salt, and lactose. Damn, that sounds awful familiar.
11.5%.
It sounds awful familiar to what we kind of drank last night.
Yep.
Actually.
Listermann, famously out of Cincinnati, of course, famously.
Yeah, Listermann.
You ready to crack this baby
Local.
open?
Oh, hang on.
All right, so we've established. Oh, here we go. 3. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. So we've established that
epic fail.
The shopping. Oh man, you failed. That's all right. Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we don't. That's life. It's a good lesson to learn. We've established that the Christmas shopping stuff, but we never really talked about. We don't talk too much about Christmas traditions. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh my gosh, Miracle? No.
Boy, look at that. Another black tar beer.
Black tar beer with no head. Does
head.
that look familiar? Vaguely familiar.
It smells
11
quite boozy.
11.2%. So Stev's dad might actually like this one better because this one's more in the range of 1050, which Stev's dad loved, along with me. And then I heard from Stev's dad today, and I asked him what he thought of the beer last night because I thought it was phenomenal, and he gave it a 3.75. So
last night's beer.
Last night's beer.
I thought you were saying he gave today's beer a 3.75.
No, last night's.
Last night's beer. Oh man, we loved that beer. Matt gave it a 4.75.
Did he?
And Matt's buddy Mike gave it a 4.25.
4.25. Interesting.
And I think he's just not a stout guy.
What did Stev give it?
I don't know what Stev gave it.
Stev's dad, let us know what Stev gave it. Stev's dad gave it a 3.75 because it crossed the threshold of booziness up front for him. So
I think Stev's a stout guy. Well, I know he's a stout guy. So
Stev, yeah.
He's gonna like it, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a more traditional.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh no, my phone's recording.
No
right
worries.
Now.
So,
doesn't matter.
Gosh, it looks a lot like.
It smells so good. It smells like cookies and cream. At first, I was like, "Whoa, this smells boozy." But once I emptied the bottle, now the remnants in the bottle. Boy, that's a good smell. I wish you could put that in an air freshener. That is legit Oreo. Like, this smells like Oreo cookies. Smell the bottle now that the bottle's empty. Man, it's uncanny.
I'll tell you what I smelled here, too.
Dude, that's great.
I smelled here, and I tasted it. I got the vanilla. The vanilla is much more prominent, and I like it. The vanilla cream. It's definitely creamy, and it's got vanilla, and I'm thinking, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're right. I taste the cocoa nubs. The cocoa nubs would be like
cacao.
Cacao nubs. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
You know,
Cincinnati, Dana Avenue.
I don't know where that is.
Have you ever known anyone named Dana?
Yes.
I did. I knew a Dana once.
Yep. I have.
Same Dana that Matt knew. Matt and I know the same Dana.
Really?
He probably knows more Danas, I would say. If this was Vegas and I had to bet on who knows more Danas, me or Matt, it'd be Matt.
It's probably a really popular Wisconsin name.
You think?
Don't know.
There was a show called Step by Step on in the 90s. There was a Dana in that show.
Really?
One of the daughters.
Huh.
It was the show with Suzanne Summers and Pat something as the parents.
Really?
Yeah. Remember Suzanne Summers? She died.
Yeah,
this year, actually.
She just died.
Yeah.
Cancer.
2023.
Right?
I don't know.
I think it was. She'd been battling cancer for a long time, I think. But that was after Three's Company. I don't remember.
Oh yeah. Step by Step was way after Three's Company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So. Christmas movie.
One thing, Chuggalos fellow Chuggalos that I'm doing wrong. I've noticed this too since the extravaganza. Actually, I am pouring the full beer out into the glass, which leaves you no room for getting any sort of, nose on the beer because there's not enough space in the glass for it to breathe. So
dang.
I know it. So I told myself last night, I did it anyway. I told myself tonight before I came over here, I did it anyway. Just force of habit, I guess. But anyway.
Force of habit. The forces of habit are strong. Mm-hmm. They're as strong as the forces of nature.
They are strong. The forces of habit are strong.
I don't speak Star Wars, okay? Okay, I know that it used to. It used to be so nerdy to like Star Wars. Now it's cool, and the cool people who like Star Wars still call themselves nerds, even though it's like the popular thing to do. You're basically the jocks of the school now, liking Star Wars.
If you watch Star Wars,
and I don't watch Star Wars. I don't care for Star Wars. Never really got into it. I get it. I just don't care for it.
Did you ever watch any of them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I watched all the original 3, which I know are now 4 through 6.
Yeah.
And I've watched 7. Never watched 1 through 3. I heard bad things about them.
Yeah, of the 3 trilogies, 1, 2, 3 is a long, distant rearview mirror, worse than the other 2.
Like I'm okay with Star Wars. When I saw the 7th one, I was like, oh yeah, I'm back into it. I like Star Wars. Then I thought about it and I realized that I was just forcing myself to like it because it was so popular and the movie was well done. I thought the movie was good, but the concepts around Star Wars, I just don't care. I don't have any investment in the characters. I just don't care at all about Star Wars and their whole thing. And actually, I took on this my perspective just to test myself. I thought, what if I looked at this from Darth Vader's side? And I was like, the rebels are essentially terrorists.
Yeah.
Now I know that I don't know all the terminology, but like Darth Vader and his soldiers and stuff are that's a very authoritarian situation, and that's not something I promote.
Right.
But when you look at from established society, which I don't know if you ever see it, but the people, what's Darth Vader fighting for? Is he fighting for his civilization, for his country?
No, he's fighting for the Emperor, the dictator.
For the Emperor, and the Emperor rules over
the whole galaxy.
The whole galaxy.
Yeah, the whole galaxy. The Emperor has successfully overturned democratic rule. Hint, hint, foreshadowing of maybe something. But there's this beautiful, democratic...
So, basically, the first one started, not to cut you off, they're some non-elected official judges are we're going to strip Democratic names off the ballots. And so, from then on, slowly but surely, democracy dies.
Yeah.
And the Emperor rules. And the Emperor is a very old, bumbling idiot.
He's actually, at the time...
Oh, he's very smart.
He's kind of a little post middle age, but not super old. But he's
post middle age.
But he's
future Post Malone.
Right. So, but he's super freaking smart, and he seems like the nicest, most reasonable guy in the world. Everybody goes, "Oh wow!"
He's like a salesman.
Yeah, but then he behind the scenes, he's a Sith Lord. So he's evil. He's outright 100% evil.
I don't know what that means.
Well, he's basically the opposite of a Jedi, right?
Jedi
use
the
the
noble
Force.
Ones. Using
Yeah,
the Force.
and they're using it for good and for noble purposes and for helping people, saving people, all that stuff. The Sith are using the same forces for themselves, to selfishly.
So what are the rebels fighting for?
Rebels are fighting for freedom again.
For freedom?
Yeah, because what's happened is the Empire. This is the whole first movie, which is the fourth movie. It goes through this whole thing where the Empire has. It's not the Empire. It's the. I don't remember what they call themselves, but it's a federation of planets across the whole galaxy, right? And they have this giant room that looks like a funnel. At like 1,000 levels, and it's like a stadium, but it's in a smaller funnel shape, and that's where all the senators go to make rules and laws, right? And nobody can agree on anything. It's all corrupt, and there's largesse, and there's hubris, and there's all kinds of stuff going on, and the Federation is turning into it's disintegrating. It's deteriorating, disintegrating from within because of all this corruption going on. Sound familiar? And the opportunity is ripe for an authoritarian person to say, we need security. That was the whole thing with the emperor. He was, I think, the president of the Senate, elected president.
Oh, okay.
Of the Senate. And he said, we need more security to make sure we secure the borders, and from all the bandits that live in the outer regions and all this stuff, right? It was a classic. It was just classic. You could fast forward that stuff like 30 years and drop it in today's world, and you go, oh, wow. But anyway, in that chaos, he saw his opportunity. He had been waiting and waiting and waiting and grooming and manipulating the Senate and the democracy to go this way, right? So that he could step in and take over. And they give him special powers, which of course is the beginning of the end always, because, emperors, rulers, authoritarians never give that power back up.
Give them an inch, they take a mile.
And, so that's how they kept and he kept the Senate. After he made himself emperor, he kept the Senate in place as a figurehead for a while, before finally just saying, screw it, I don't need the Senate anymore. We're disbanding the Senate, and it's just going to be my empire.
Supreme leader.
But the empire is a Sith, and according to, Star Wars lore, a Sith Lord always has to have an apprentice. One apprentice. And the apprentice is his henchman. And he has a number of henchmen leading up to Darth Vader, which is the basis for, when they do the Great Reverse and they go back to 1, 2, 3, which is the preceding ones before Luke Skywalker, right? Yeah, the prequel, right? And that was that basis. They went through, what the apprentices were, who the apprentices were, and how they each became more successively powerful, but not quite powerful enough to overthrow the Jedi. So the Emperor decides he's going to go after the most promising young Jedi who's rumored to be the savior, the prophesied one, who's going to bring unity to the Force and bring the universe back together and all that stuff, right? And he turns him to the dark side, and that's Darth Vader, who was Anakin Skywalker, who was Luke Skywalker's
Not a
dad.
Bad summary there. I like it.
So that's it. You don't even have to watch any of them now.
Understand it. I get it now. So basically, Star Wars is just a political commentary.
It pretty much is political with a lot of sword fighting in it.
Yeah, nice laser swords.
Yeah, it's cool though. But 7 was very different. They came out with 7.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be like 20 years later, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So Luke Skywalker, everybody's long gone, and they come out with some new characters and stuff. I thought 7 was really good, but 8 was really cool because they brought some of the old characters back in, and they weaved them back into the story, which was really cool. And then 9 was really phenomenal. That was a great movie.
I have not seen 8 and 9. But
I really liked Star Wars. I still love Star Wars, and I'll still watch it every once in a while. But I think I've watched it about 50 million times. So.
Oh damn, that's a lot of times, dude.
It is.
50 million times.
It's probably, I've watched the Matrix trilogy probably just a little less often than Star Wars.
A little less? I don't know that I watch. Oh man, that yawn is not because you bored me with Star Wars. That was the best description anyone's given me of Star Wars ever. Period. And Andy's tried. Randy Orton for the listener. He's tried several times, and God, it's just not my thing. But I do love politics, so maybe I'll rewatch it in that context.
You'll watch it now.
But it'd be good. It would be cool if they did a movie that goes back to like 4 or 5, and does it from the opposite perspective. You know, like All Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah. You know, it's the Germans' perspective of World War I.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to do the same movie, but from Darth Vader's perspective, or from maybe like the white, what are those guys? The Stormtroopers from like a Stormtrooper's perspective.
They kind of do in some of the. There were some between after 1, 2, 3 was done. There was this big gap, right? And it was a long time. It was 15 years, maybe it was 20 years. I don't remember. But before they made 7, 8, and 9, there was this giant void, and there's millions of people around the world that are huge fans that were screaming for, give us something. Can't you make a story, a spin-off? You can't make like 50 spin-offs out of Star Wars.
You can, of course.
There's so many great characters. You could take one and just make a whole series on them, right? So they did that. They actually started the modern movement of, taking a character out of a movie and then riffing off that for a series.
Yeah, building their whole storyline.
Yeah, building a like a 10-episode series or whatever.
That makes
right?
sense.
So they did that, and they did that they went back in time and they did Han Solo as a young man, how he became Han Solo in the movie. They did that they did it with 1, 2, and 3 with Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was what's his name?
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor. And
Ewan.
And how
Owen.
Yeah, Ewan.
Ewan.
They did a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of movies like that, most of which were good, some of which were eh. But anyway, so there we go. We just went through Star Wars history.
Damn. Damn. As the Brits would say.
Man.
That was amazing. Anyway.
I
have a lot of thoughts and follow-ups, but we'll save it for another day. Let's talk about this beer. This beer, what do you think?
You go first.
This beer is boozy. It's boozy. And I hate to acknowledge that the booze almost detracts from the beer itself. There's an effervescence, a sparkliness, as you've been calling it, a sparkle to it. There is that is there. The smell is phenomenal, and I do get the cookies and cream from the smell. Like it's spot on. I need more out of the flavor. I taste I taste maybe like the cacao part. Yeah. I taste a little bit of vanilla. Not enough. And I really need the chocolate to be as rich as the smell. The smell of the chocolate, especially in the empty bottle.
It's good.
It's like.
That's good.
I mean, it legitimately. You could if you had somebody like close your eyes and smell this. I know that's like a fucked up game kids play, but you could say that and you would be like Oreos. Like it's almost I don't know. It's duplicate. It's like exactly the same. It's unseparable. I don't know how to say it. Undifferentiable from
easy for you to
Oreos.
say.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put it in your mouth, a lot of that goes away, and it turns into a little something different. Would you agree? I think I taste a lot more. So from
I think I taste dark beer. I don't know. I'm not tasting the delicious flavors that I read on the side of the bottle.
Yeah. I'm not I'm not tasting the separation or the layering that we tasted last night.
Yeah.
I'm tasting, and I think I finally, after drinking half of it, I think I understand one of the reasons why. Maybe not that this is the only one. I think, but I'm tasting a lot more bourbon tonight than I tasted last night. Are you tasting that?
Yeah, maybe.
I get a lot
more bourbon.
It was bourbon barrel aged, which we love. That's a favorite of ours. We love that taste a lot, but it's a lot. It's a lot more bourbon than we've had in the last. And actually, this is the third stout in a row, pastry stout really, in a row that we've had. That's very near, very, very similar in alcohol content, pretty high, a lot of the same notes, chocolate, coffee, creamy. So we've had, kind of a run of this now, since the extravaganza. But this just seems to be more bourbon flavored to me. I'm just tasting more of it, which kind of, that's a pretty overpowering strong flavor, and it knocks down a lot of the other flavors that might be in there, but we just can't taste. That's what I'm guessing. Because you're right, in the nose, you totally get that. I smell even the cacao nubs, like I said before, which is, the stuff that the little powdery cocoa that they sprinkle on top of tiramisu. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. It's cacao nubs, and it's powdery and dry, so it's a very different texture and mouthfeel when you put that in your mouth. Like if you're eating tiramisu, you taste the chocolate because they make chocolate out of that, right? But the texture's so different that it has a little different flavor profile, and I get that in the nose here. I can totally smell that. I get it a little on the finish here, but just a little bit because there's still a lot of bourbon going down there. So,
all right, I agree with a lot. I realized that we need to give credit where credit's due on this bottle art because it is Barrel House, and part of the appeal of this is that there is can art. This is the Can Art Boner segment, and it is, of course, brought to you by Barrel House. Whether with or without their permission, it is brought to you by Barrel House. The interesting thing, so C.R.E.A.M is an acronym in this, and that's what that cat snakes rule everything around me is an acronym for cream. Are ferrets cat snakes? Is that like a slang term or some sort of like alternative phrase for them? Regardless, there's a bunch of ferrets on the front of here, which I assume are ferrets. I don't really know anything about ferrets.
They look kind of like ferrets.
And one of them's holding a Wu-Tang symbol, because Barrel House has Wu-Tang Wednesdays, which is awesome. There's barrels behind the ferrets. They're playing with, sandwich cookies, chocolate sandwich cookies like Oreos. They're
laying on their back eating them.
Traditional cookies and cream is always just like the Oreo cookie crumble with the frosting on the inside. Now I've decided to switch gears as so there's a couple funny jokes about how kind of like when when you're a young father, you are still young and you're trying to be, or like when your kids are young, you're still like trying to be like you were before you had kids. Several years into your kids growing, your identity starts to change into I'm a dad.
Yep.
And a lot of my life revolves around being a dad. And I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, yes. There's a couple things that I used to be very active in, like shopping and participating in, the world at large. Now it's a common joke that I go shopping one day a year, and it's like in the 20s of December to get all my Christmas gifts. But I also used to bake. So every once in a while, I would bake Christmas cookies with either with Katie or adjacent to. Now I'm like, I'm gonna phone this one in, but I'm not phoning it in. I'm gonna make sandwich cookies. That way I can just make a lot of the same cookie.
Yeah.
It's like my mom makes like M&M cookies. The peanut butter with the Hershey Kiss cookies.
Oh, I love those.
She makes pizzelles. She makes kolaches. She makes crusts. She makes all these different cookies, each of them with their own unique recipe. Well, as a man who's just like right now, I think I'm more tired than I've been in a few days, and this is gonna continue probably through Christmas. I'm just gonna make a bunch of the same cookie, and then I'm just gonna make a lot of different creams for the inside. Make sandwich cookies.
Oh, nice.
That's my plan.
Nice.
I think
you're going to do it.
Of course, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, Dad's in the kitchen cooking again, Mom.
Do it.
Get the fire department on speed dial, that kind of thing. But I was looking into how you make, so coming full circle here.
That's funny.
I was looking into, what I really wanted to do was to make that the Oreo cream that kind of hardens just a little. It's soft and fluffy, but it's not like frosting. It doesn't smush when you press on it. It's solid. And that's cream cheese based. I had no idea that Oreo cream was cream cheese based. Yeah, it's a cream cheese based thing. I had no idea.
It doesn't taste like cream
no,
cheese
not at all. They do a good job. It's loaded with powdered sugar. I think it's like cream cheese and powdered sugar. It's basically the two ingredients.
Wow.
And
wow.
Like if you eat that cream on its own, you wouldn't taste any cream cheese.
Yeah.
But it hardens and it to the perfect density. But I think I'm going to go a different route because that seems complicated. And cream cheese is expensive. And you can fuck it up. If you don't put the right ratio, it's going to taste like cream cheese.
Even if you got it right, the fact that you want to flavor the actual stuffing, that's
stuffing. I want to go like a bunch of different routes. I want to have like some peppermint ones, some lemon ones, some chocolate ones.
You'd have to make a whole bunch of different batches.
That's what I'm going to do.
A lot of extra work, man.
No, it's not that much.
Really? Wow, it sounds like it.
It's not that much extra work.
But I want to see.
Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow ingredients from the growing and ever popular smoothie world. Yeah. They have all this shit already mapped out. They got peppermint extract. They got vanilla extract. There's peanut butter powder. Let's use that. There's chocolate powder, obviously. Chocolate syrup, chocolate powder. And people who've been making smoothies for all these years, there's all these cheat codes to getting the flavors you want. I'm going to borrow from that industry.
Nice.
To make these cookies. But long story short, that's what these cookies are. They're the Oreo cookies with the white cream center. The smell is just perfect. The taste, I guess maybe bourbon. I'm getting a booziness. And like you said, the flavors in this beer aren't as layered. So you're not getting one, and as it fades, another one comes in. As it fades, another one comes in. This one, it's like they're all there. And if you want to taste both cacao, coffee, chocolate, vanilla, whatever, you have to really put thought into what's going on your palate. And you have to make that distinction. You have to make that separation. And in some regards, if you do get it, I guess that is a sign that the beer's good. But in other regards, what happened yesterday was just this natural progression of just flavors that just kept happening on their own, naturally.
Yep.
And that's a true sign of a good beer. Now, I'm not saying that this beer is not good. I don't want to be bashing it like that. But what I'm saying is this beer, the complexity in this beer is less than yesterday. And I don't know. Like, I think what they thought they were going to accomplish matches what is in the what's in the bottle, but it doesn't translate to flavor. It just translates to the smell. So I do believe that all the flavors are there. I believe that maybe we age this thing another year or two.
Exactly, that was.
And
just
then we
what
get
I was
all
thinking.
these flavors out. So it's 2020. Maybe we go another 2 years, and maybe this beer's phenomenal.
2026, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that.
But I'm not as high on this beer as I was with yesterday's beer. But I still think it's a decent beer. It's way too boozy, and I don't want to pick apart the flavors on my tongue I want that to kind of just happen naturally.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time doing that. I'm having a hard time doing that because they're not separating. And
They're not separating. Yeah.
You have to swallow it and then and then concentrate on
really concentrate.
Concentrate on the
Too
finish
much concentration
after you swallow it to try to pull out the flavors, and it's going to be the weaker part of it of the.
If they have more of this, I might go buy another bottle or two and put
just
it
to put it down, put it down for a while. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
In a couple of years.
I don't think it's a bad beer. I think we've been it unfortunately in the lineup. It was put back to back with two other pastry stouts that were pretty frickin' phenomenal, in my mind, and it's hard to stand up to that. It's not the alcohol content that did it; it's the way that the whole thing is put together and integrated. Like that one last night, the bourbon was just a touch, almost like it was perfect. It was right on.
Just maybe this one. I wonder what the aging process was like. Maybe it was only a month or two.
Maybe that's another great point. Because last night's was 7 months, I think we said in the barrel, and I don't know what 1050s was. I don't remember. I think we said it would, but it doesn't really matter. Does this say on here what it was? Let's see.
No.
See it. 11.5.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it says it.
No,
but
it doesn't. It doesn't say it.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It is what it is. I might go buy another one.
We love Barrel House. They're our pals.
Oh, yeah.
They've been really good to us. We have a simpatico partnership kind of relationship with them, and we love them a lot. So they don't put up bad stuff.
They don't put up bad stuff. In its current state, though, this beer to me, my score, 3.75. But I believe that if I go and buy one and cellar it, this beer can get into the high 4s.
You're
with a little bit of cellaring.
You're scaring me. We're starting to score.
Well, I'm not supposed to scare anybody.
You're not JT Krampus?
No, I'm not Krampus.
I am Grampus Krampus.
I'm old. I'm like this guy here.
No, that's all I feel, man.
I'm like this guy. Just a gift-giving, fun-loving guy. Just wants the world to be happy. And for one small part of the morning on the 25th, everyone's happy.
Come on. Okay, we're going to take a poll right now. How many think that that Father Christmas, Santa Claus, Papa Gigio, he drinks beer?
Popo Gigio.
Yep, he drinks beer.
Oh, yeah, he drinks beer.
Hell yes, he drinks beer.
So, St. Nick actually lived from, between the 200 and 300 BC. Or AD.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
He was a real guy?
Real guy. St. Nicholas was a real guy who was known for... Well, he wasn't... I don't know if he was a saint when he was alive. I don't know how that works.
It happens after you're dead.
After you're dead. So, he was just this guy, Nicholas. And he was known throughout his area in Turkey. He was from Turkey.
Oh, really?
And he would give... It was a Roman Empire at the time.
Sure.
And he would secretly give gifts to people. And he famously, according to this... I looked it up because I was looking up the Krampus. What was the origins of that? And St. Nick's story was right next to it. And so he was a secret gift giver, and people kind of caught on to that. But also, there was a family in his town that was like the daughters were on the verge of prostitution just to avoid being homeless, and he had given them a sack of gold through their window. Secretly, and everyone knew it was him, and it prevented them from having to do that, the prostitution.
Wow.
So that's where the giving nature of Saint Nick came from.
I did not.
And I didn't know it was through the window. I would assume it would have been through the chimney. I don't know where that whole thing started.
Well, don't you have to wonder, did Saint Nick trade a little something for something?
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
Casting aspersions.
I mean, maybe it's like, so if the story goes that, I don't want to cast aspersions either, but if the story goes that they had to turn to prostitution to avoid being homeless, is it possible that they had to turn to prostitution just once?
Right.
To avoid being homeless? And
then
it
worked? His name was Saint Nick.
And his name was Nicholas from Turkey.
I don't know.
From the Roman Empire.
I'm being really bad right now.
I don't know
I think I need another one of these.
I don't know what prostitution was back then. Was it looked down upon in the Roman
Oh,
Empire?
heck yeah.
Oh, it was? It was not.
Yeah,
It wasn't a good profession.
It depends.
I feel like the Romans were like way more into
debauchery
sex than.
Yeah, they were into
Like,
lots
there's
of
a lot of
different
like
type of debauchery.
I don't think like prudeness was. I don't think that came about until, the teens, the teen hundreds.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that was more of like a papal thing.
Probably.
Where it was like the Catholic Church was basically like, sex is bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would guess that might be right.
I think prior to that, I don't know. Right. Who knows?
I'll go with it. I'll go with that.
Who knows? I have no idea.
But this beer is definitely not puritanical. How'd you like that segue?
Wow, great. Great segue. Great segue.
I'm tasting a lot of coffee now. A lot of coffee on the bourbon and some chocolate on the coffee. Just not quite doing it for me.
It happens, man.
I was between 3.75 and 4 when I was contemplating that when you put your score in. I'm going to say 4.0 because it doesn't suck, and I'd probably drink it again.
All right. Fair enough.
But it's not the best stout that we've had, even in the last 3 weeks. So it's sort of tough. And sorry, Barrel House. It's good though. It's good.
So is Barrel
It's
House.
very good. It's just following a couple of real bangers.
Mm-hmm.
So
real bangers.
Yep.
Well, this episode was a banger, I'd say.
Yeah, I would too.
All right.
Let's put the banger in the can.
Day 21.
Day 21.
See you tomorrow.
Yep. Laters.